Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Office Bloke Daz.
I'm Office Bloke Mike.
And I'm Office Bloke Max.
Here we all three of us. If Patreon's your thing, check out the link in the description below. Loads of stuff on there, all starting for a bargain price of just
£1.50 a month.
bargain it is. Helps support the channel, and there's loads of stuff on there. Full watch alongs to all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And new stuff coming as well.
Indeed, very, very soon.
Yeah. So keep your eye out for that. Every disturbing banned video game in 8 minutes.
Right, okay.
I'm just looking at that one there. The only one that really sort of like comes across to me that I recognise is Manhunt.
Yeah, I remember that. That was in primary school. I remember hearing about that. Going, is that a real game?
I know, right?
I'm not well up on games in the least, but it'd be very, very interesting to see why they were banned. Anyway.
Yeah, correct. Well, Manhunt, I can understand why.
Yeah. Do you remember? It was a big news story when Hatred was banned. It was like 2015.
Which one was it? Hatred?
Hatred.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
It might come to me when we
You'll see
a lot of these might come to me as we go along.
Yeah, there might have been reports on them
yeah.
and stuff. So
because obviously we're having kids growing up, sort of thing, who were gamers. Then it's all like you had to keep an eye on certain things that were
get
access to, you know. But let's go for it anyway. Every disturbing banned video game in 8 minutes.
Manhunt. Manhunt, a stealth game developed by Rockstar North in 2003, is centered around a death row inmate named James Earl Cash, who believes he is going to get executed by lethal injection. However, Cash only gets sedated, and he awakens to an unknown voice who calls himself the Director. The Director is actually a former film producer from Los Santos, the same city as the GTA universe, who produces for a snuff film ring. He tells Cash that he's going to get his freedom only if he kills the Hunters, which are gang members set to hunt him, in certain parts of Custer City where cameras are placed to gather footage for his film. The game has brutal ways of defeating the enemies, such as using plastic bags, various guns, etc. And it was even deemed the most violent game ever made by the Chicago Tribune.
Not gonna lie, it sounds pretty good.
It sounds cool, doesn't it? Yeah.
it's a bit dark, isn't it? What I mean?
But you'll get worse nowadays. Though.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. All games are pretty dark anyway, aren't they?
Yeah, I
nowadays,
guess so.
Not all of them, but obviously, you know, if
you get a lot of shoot 'em up ones, don't you?
Yeah. Even when you look at GTA, you know, it can be
of course.
It's
a lot of violence, isn't there? In all these films?
It's the freedom to do violent things that everyone
yeah.
doesn't like about it. It's like you can go and kill 50 people on the street. It's like you shouldn't. But people do it.
You can do it in real life, can't you? You can if you want. You shouldn't.
But you don't.
We don't want you to.
That's a PSA.
It's this focus on brutality that got the attention of U.S. Representative Joe Baca, who was the sponsor of a legislation to fine those who sell adult-themed games to players younger than 17. This brought the game to the media's attention, and it started receiving backlashes, such as the bans in New Zealand and Australia. Postal. Postal was first released in 1997 by a company called Running with Scissors, and it depicts a guy known as Postal Dude who has serious mental illnesses and believes that the U.S. Air Force released an airborne agent called the Hate Plague. This leads him on a violent rampage to try and get rid of the virus by eliminating infected people while hearing voices in his head. The game is made of different levels and locations, and the goal is to eliminate enough people to progress on to the next level. At one point, the level is located in a school, and the original ending was that kids laughed at him as his bullets were not effective, with him getting locked up in a mental institution with satanic-like imagery. The game was banned in multiple countries. Custer's Revenge. Developed by Mystique in 1982, a company specialized in adult games, this game depicts Lieutenant Colonel and Brevet Major General George Armstrong Custer, a famous American cavalry commander mostly known for his wars against Native Americans, wearing nothing but his hat. This is because the goal of the game is to cross a field to reach a Native American woman tied to a pole while avoiding the falling arrows. Once you reach her, you're supposed to spam the action button to do exactly what you're thinking about. The game was sold in a sealed package labeled "Not for Sale to Minors," and it cost the equivalent of $160 in 2023. The game's literature even stated, "If the kids catch you and should ask, tell them Custer and the maiden are just dancing." The president of the company that created the game responded to criticism by saying that the goal was just to seduce the maiden and that she gave consensus. The game was actually never officially banned in the US, but its sales were restricted because some retailers refused to carry the game. Carmageddon. In this 1997 vehicular combat game, the player races a vehicle against several other computer-controlled competitors in various settings, but with a twist. The player has a certain amount of time to complete each race, and more time may be gained by collecting bonuses, damaging the competitors' cars, or most controversially, by running over pedestrians. The race can either be won by arriving first, destroying every car, or eliminating every pedestrian on the level. This game was highly controversial at the time, and it got banned in Germany, Brazil, and even the UK for a short period of time. It was censored by replacing humans with robots and zombies with black oil and green blood. KZ Manager.
I kind of remember that Carmageddon one now.
Yeah, I remember the name.
Yeah. Saying these so far, not all these games look pretty all right.
Usually your Amazon basket.
yeah. We'll be later, won't we? Yeah.
This one is really controversial, so I'll try to use some vague words to explain it. It's a browser-based and text-oriented management simulation game, but the problem is what the player has to manage. Let's say it's an old German prison camp.
Oh, no.
God. Come off it.
Increase productivity and manage the resources, such as prisoners, supplies, public
That's
opinion,
terrible.
etc. The game was confiscated in Germany in 1990
Shock.
for
No
violating
shit.
German Criminal Code,
Wow.
Section 130, which can be translated as incitement of the masses, making its distribution forbidden. EC. I won't even say the complete name of this game because it's pretty bad in itself. So let's just explain what it's about. It's a 2002 FPS produced by a group that, let's say, especially likes the color white, and not so much the other ones. In the game, the player traverses 2 levels to eliminate stereotypically depicted people from various parts of the world. The game was released on Martin Luther King Jr. Day and was sold for $14.88.
Wow.
Both numbers being references to slogans
crazy.
and precepts made by those people who especially love the color white. The crazy thing is that even though the game experienced restricted sales because mainstream platforms didn't want to carry it, the game is not officially banned in the US. The Guy Game. This one is an adult video game from 2004, presented in a trivia game show style. It features real girls in bikinis during spring break, and the goal of the game is to get points or accumulate bonus ones by choosing the correct answers to the quizzes to make the flashometer go up, and you can imagine what happens when it goes up. If you think this is already tasteless, you're not ready to hear why it's technically illegal to own a copy of it. Let's just say that the number 18 did not apply to everyone. A person might have had the number 17.
Wow.
GrapeLay. This one consists of the main
I have
character,
heard of it.
Messiah Kimura, stalking and doing not-so-consensual stuff to a family. Kimura is initially arrested for doing bad stuff to a woman at the start of the game, and once he gets out of jail, he seeks vengeance on the girl and her family, including her little sister and her mother. Most of the game is played in the usual 2D visual novel format, but there are 3D segments where the mouse acts as Kimura's hand to touch and trigger different responses from the characters.
What?
After the
That's
cursor
terrible,
has
isn't
been used a lot of times, the characters even lose their clothes and cover themselves. The game is completed when Kimura's mission has been achieved with all 3 characters. After that happens, Kimura reveals his plans to make them all, let's say, unpaid workers. There are 2 endings in this game, the black ending and the red ending. In the black ending, Kimura has a kid with one of them, but he gets killed in a subway when he gets pushed on the rails. In the red ending, Kimura gets eliminated by one of the girls, who is seeking revenge. Initially, this game didn't cause much uproar in Japan, but that changed once British Member of Parliament Keith Vaz, in 2009, emphasized
Hang on a minute.
Wow.
Hang on a minute. You don't happen with Keith Vaz, don't you?
Yeah.
No, what happened?
Yeah, he's one of them.
Bad guy.
Yeah,
Is he?
well, yeah, he
Wow.
is. Yeah,
I think I had a copy of GrapeLay at home.
Yeah,
I think he was probably one of the
Wow.
writers.
We should
in
ban it.
GrapeLay.
So let me have my copy first.
Yeah.
Let's please.
Yeah.
That's terrible though. That,
Yeah.
that's
I can't believe Keith
That's-
Vaz is mentioned in this as well. That's just a bit of a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, I mean, you can see why that was banned. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Some of them, you
Absolutely.
think, come off it.
in Japan like this.
Wow.
Not that
Yeah, but Keith Vaz got banned
bad.
shortly after.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
emphasized how bad it was, wanting to bring the issue into the British Parliament to prevent the game from being sold. The public reaction led to the restriction of the sale and production of the game by the Ethics Organization of Computer Software, an independent Japanese ratings organization for adult games. This made it impossible to purchase the game even in Japan. It's also banned in Australia and Argentina. Hatred. In Hatred, the protagonist, called the antagonist, is a man who despises humanity and wants to embark on what he calls a crusade. The goal of this crusade is to eliminate as many people as possible before he himself is taken down. The developer described Hatred as a reaction to video game aesthetic trends, such as political correctness, politeness, vivid color, and games as art. For this reason, the game is mostly black and white, and has such extreme violence that it was the 3rd video game to receive an adult-only rating for extreme violence rather than sexual content, behind Manhunt 2 and the unreleased Thrill Kill. The game was made with Unreal Engine 4, and Epic Games, the creators of said engine, asked them to remove the Unreal Engine logo from the game. At one point, it even got removed from Steam, but it was reinstated after some time, with a personal apology from Gabe Newell. 177. This game takes its name after a Japanese legislation paragraph that forbids the R word, and it consists of jumping through obstacles and other characters while following a fleeting girl. If the protagonist
Jesus.
reaches the girl, after the bad thing you can imagine, the game shows a picture of him and the girl married. If the protagonist doesn't reach the girl, she reaches her home and calls the police. Manhunt 2.
That's 2.
That's bonkers.
That's two from Japan.
These Japanese have got a lot to answer for here, haven't they?
Where's Keith Vaz when you need him?
Hey,
Get him out of jail.
Imagine going into like a board meeting like, I've got it. I've got it.
I've got a
the
great
next
idea.
Big thing. Get ready for this.
yeah. It's,
So you're running through the woods, right, Michelle? Right, and I'm chasing you.
jeez. I mean, someone's like I say, someone's come up with this, haven't they? And thought it'll be a good idea. We could throw millions of pounds at developing it, and
It's crazy.
dear, mate.
Manhunt 2.
Yeah.
So good.
Even after the controversy, Manhunt 1 gathered a heavily dedicated following, and a
gonna-
sequel was released in 2007. The game follows Daniel Lamb, a mental patient suffering from amnesia, as he tries to uncover his identity, and Leo Casper, a sociopathic assassin who guides Daniel in his journey. The game contained such brutal scenes that it was refused classification in the United Kingdom and Ireland, and given an adults-only rating in the United States, which meant that most platforms wouldn't want it. After this happened, they edited the game and censored some of the worst parts, like blurring the executions and removing the scoring system, which rewarded players for particularly brutal killings. This new version was given a mature rating. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an
Brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wild by it. It's more because a few of them you go, all right, I get it. Then you get the bad ones. You go, that's horrific.
Yeah.
You're like,
I mean, the Manhunt one, I can kind of like, I understand it. I can get it. The violence ones where people do whatever they go around. It's like I say, you can do kind of stuff in GTA, or you can do it in other, Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You can go around shooting people, things like that. But I just think when you see the ones with the R word in it
yeah.
and stuff, that's a little bit.
That's below the belt.
Cross the line.
Yeah,
it's
cross
crossed the line.
yeah.
I think. Yeah.
But do you not think things like Call of Duty? That's just like that's dressing it up a bit like those other ones a bit, trying to make it a bit more sort of
You're desensitized.
but trying to make it a bit more legitimate because it's army. It's sort of like army
Military sort of
personnel
style,
rather than just people in prison and
I feel like the difference between like a GTA and like Manhunt, I kind of don't get because it's just violent.
Yeah.
And you go like, fair enough.
Same as hatred.
But hatred, it's your objective is to kill innocent people. Like, that's the main aim of the game.
Yeah.
With GTA, it's like you can do it, but that's on you. Like,
I'm sure these games when we were younger, Mike and I, sort of thing, where you'd probably be able to run over people, like you sort of like swiping side to side to sort of like run over things and things like that, or kill whatever. It's all relative at the end of the day.
Well, sometimes you do it for a laugh, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Or even on Formula One things.
In real life?
No. No, even on driving ones, like Gran Turismo, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you drive into someone along that on purpose, wouldn't you? Drive around the track the wrong way and smash into him just for a laugh. But I mean,
but some of them just crossed the line, I thought.
Oh, some of them.
What was more disturbing more than anything was Keith Vaz called one of them out. I'm like, he must have been caught with a copy and gone. I was just
I just wanted to ban it.
Yeah.
Oh, we should ban this guy.
It's just going through.
If he's calling someone out,
searching it.
If he's calling someone out, then it should be banned, shouldn't it? I mean, come on. Wow, this bad here. So 2 or 3 of them. It's like
terrible.
just yeah,
but it's a good video on that. It's highlight some of the videos. Some of them I didn't know. But Hatred I knew. Carmageddon I've heard of. Manhunt,
yeah, I've heard of Manhunt definitely, but most of the others not too sure.
Postal,
about,
you can sort of like when you see the name of the video game, you kind of guess what it's about. It's not about a mailman.
Yeah, exactly.
You thought so.
Well, they made a second Postal. There's Postal 2 as well.
Yeah, but it's like when you see things like grandparents buying kids. Like Postal, it'd be about the mail delivery service. It's like when someone bought Minecraft for the kid, and he went, "What's that?" And he says, "That's what he said he wanted." He said, "No, he said he wanted Minecraft." He bought Minecraft, the yellow bit of the box.
Yeah, just a story.
I was wondering why.
Yeah, a bit of a mix up there, I would suggest.
Exactly. Yeah. Older people not understanding what the. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget like and subscribe. See you in the next one.
Cheers.